Hi everybody, it's Chris here from the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Just to let you know, as always, this podcast is now part of the 90-Minute Football Network and proudly sponsored by www.pt-4-u.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel for post-match party with myself, Chris Wallace, and Decker Petrie. Decker, it has been a long time. I'm sure your notifications have gone absolutely mental the last handful of hours.
Yeah, no.
Decker, say those magic words, mate.
Well, one, get in!
Get in!
Get in there. Finally.
Long time coming, mate. It's honestly, it's. I know we're still 19th now, but that win is just a huge weight off our shoulders. I know we've still got a long and a huge uphill battle ahead of us, but mate, how good did that feel this afternoon?
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. My voice is still struggling, to be quite honest with you. It was a very poor game. It was a dreadful game, if I'm honest with you. But like you said the other night when we chatted, you said it would be a poor game and would just nick it 1-0. Wilson would score, you said as well. So do you have a bet on that? Please say you put money on.
Of course I didn't, mate. Of course I didn't.
No, but I think towards the end, sorry, I'm going to just jump for 2 seconds, but towards the end, you could see how nervous the players were, knowing that we're so close to getting the win. But God, the ground was just rocking, man. Like everybody just knew how much it meant. And yeah, there was a lap of honour at the end type of thing, and you could probably, some fans would laugh at that and go, God, they've only beat Burnley. But that just shows you how everyone within the club, whoever was connected to the club, knew how big today was.
Yeah, mate, it's obviously we're not going to go into too much detail in regard to the game and stuff like that, because we normally obviously speak about it a lot more on a Monday night with the Always Smile and Face podcast. This episode really, and this next 20 minutes, half an hour, is just going to be about how important that was for us as a football club. And like you said, there's a lap of honour at full-time whistle, but mate, for the players themselves as well, we mentioned this on our match preview as well. This would have been huge for the players too. It's finally they've got that first win of the season, and hopefully this is where we can start that momentum now, and we can start pushing on. And we've got Leicester next. It's of course it's going to be tough, but it's a hell of a lot better going in that game with 3 points in your bag.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if it was another defeat, it would have been terrible going into Leicester. To be honest with you. I thought, obviously, when you seen the team sheet come through, just briefly, were you any surprises there for you?
I wouldn't say it surprised me. There was a bit of disappointment just because obviously how good of a game Fernandes had, but I wasn't shocked or surprised, because we said this you wouldn't be if Lascelles came straight back in being club captain. So I wasn't necessarily shocked at that. I would love to see Feddy in there. Of course I would have. Almiron probably for me, mate. Coming straight in. He's probably came in with Fraser wasn't even featured on the bench, so if he's got another injury, it's another one for Fraser. Somebody who was hoping that was going to flourish under Eddie Howe, but are we going to see much of him once again, mate? Is he going to be plagued by injuries? We don't know. But I wasn't massively shocked, mate. What about you?
I just thought it was for me. I thought it was quite an incredibly attacking team set up. To be honest with you, I mean, if you look, you take out your back four, take them away. I mean, Willock, you got Shelby, Almiron, Joelinton, Saint, Wilson. Like all of them were. I kind of felt attack minded. And I really felt that we were going to get at Burnley. I really felt, when I seen the team sheet, I thought, God, we're playing four at the back as well. And I thought, God, we're really going to get at them. We're really going to go for it. That didn't happen at all, to be quite honest with you, in terms of how the game played out. But, it was another, just quickly to mention, I mean, the fans again, you mentioned it for the Norwich game. And it was similar today. There was parts in the game where I think even the players probably needed the fans, like, if I'm honest, because it was a poor game. And it's sometimes hard, right, to get behind the team and singing that when it's poor football when you're watching. But the fans were brilliant again. Really, really, really great.
Yeah,
Eddie Howe and
I think
never said that once.
Despite the league's position and where we end up come that 38th game of the season, I think the fans are always going to be the same because of what's happened in such a small space of time. Of course, we haven't picked up many points, but there's just a feel-good factor once again, and it's not just because of the takeover. It's what Eddie Howe's doing as well. And you see from Fabian Schür's Twitter there, when it looks like that the photo's taken after we've just reached the cup final at Wembley, or even won the cup, to be honest, mate, and qualified for Europe. And yes, we were talking just before we went live there. There's going to be some fans that are going to take the piss out of the players for posting and posing like that. But mate, to me, that just shows the sort of team spirit that Eddie Howe and his coaching staff have brought to that dressing room.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I don't believe if we had gotten that result under Bruce, let's just say Bruce was still here. Let's just say, argument's sake, he was, and we got that win today. There wouldn't have been, well, first of all, there wouldn't be a reaction the way there was at the end of the game. And there definitely wouldn't be pictures like that from the players. And I think that's Eddie Howe that is trying to gel them, isn't he, in terms of that team unit and that team sort of.
So for those that haven't seen the picture there, I'll just put it on the screen there. It's great, mate. Absolutely great. Everybody's absolutely buzzing. Dwight Gale's got his cock out.
100% hasn't he?
Oh mate, he's something's dangling out of his shorts, like.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Just look at them, mate. Like 3 points against Burnley, and everybody's absolutely buzzing, and it just proves once again that this southern-based media saying Newcastle fans demand the world, blah blah blah. They want Champions League football. Look at that photo, and that speaks a hell of a lot more than what I could ever portray.
Yeah, no, it is. It's exactly right, and I think again we're in a position at the minute. As you mentioned, I mean we are second bottom, but there seems to be a real sort of belief in the players, isn't there? That they are trying, they are really pulling for the shirt, and for all it might be poor at times, and we're not getting the results we always want. There is a real feeling of togetherness that the players are fighting for the shirt, and obviously we know the manager is, and I think that's definitely going very, very far with the fans. Like
it just, mate, like I said there, it speaks absolute volumes. And once again, I know right now I'll probably go on social media and people will be laughing the absolute cocks off at that photo, but who cares? Who cares? It's siege mentality now for Newcastle United. It has been since the takeover. It's
in the bars low, mate. The bar's low. I mean, and for me, you've got to cling on to any type of positivity, and that's what that dressing room would have been absolutely bouncing after that. And in fairness, look at the league table. Oh, just want that wire. If you look at the league table, which the players probably have, we're now only 3 points from safety. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, within one game, it's just flipped, and you would hope that the mentality and attitude is the same. So.
We said a couple of weeks ago, mate, we said on the last Over Smile, in fact, a couple of weeks ago, it was only Monday. Jesus Christ, it feels like a couple of weeks ago. But we were saying on Monday night that 4 points from the next two games, we've done it. It was the minimum.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think now's about time where we'll have to be taking all 3 points against teams that you're probably not expecting to do so now. You need to have a couple of shocks in there, 100%.
Yeah. That's true, and I don't want this to be negative. I just wanted to come on here for 20 minutes and just say, "Well, won you now," over and over again. But no, I'm just, to try and be a bit devil's advocate. I mean, judging the performance that was seen today, it is difficult to envision we're going to Leicester and getting the result. It is difficult going to Liverpool and getting the result. It is, right? I have to be honest with that, because it was dreadful for long parts today. Really, really poor.
But mate, you can see it happening. It's strange. We know how bad the team can play, but you can see it happening.
Yeah, to be fair, that's a good point. I will go back to last season where we were arguably the worst. And I remember we went with Leicester with Bruce, and we're 4-0 up. I mean, within an hour. So we know the players have got it in them. And in fairness, what I will say on the back of that, we've won the day when we've played poorly, and that's actually a great sign, to be quite honest. And another thing was we kept a clean sheet, because I believe it's the first one of the season.
First one this season, mate, I think.
Yeah, which is huge. That is huge. And I sat here and said that I didn't want the Cells to be in. He was excellent today, He honestly
did a great job against Wood, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He had a tough afternoon, because the referee didn't help things in a lot of ways. Was given free kicks all the time, blowing his whistle every 5 seconds, and that's what Burnley wanted. And every opportunity them got the flung in the middle. And in fairness to Lascelles, he won everything he could win.
Once again, though, mate, we said this on the match preview. We said, right, Lascelles coming back in, but it's not going to be such a bad thing because this is what Lascelles does best. Just clears the balls from the air up against the big, strong centre forwards. And he proved it, mate. I think it was you that said that when Lascelles has got time to think about it, that's when he struggles.
Yes.
If he's just got to head the ball and challenge for them against another strong lad, he's going to have a decent chance at mopping up on that day.
That's exactly. I did say that actually, and to be fair, he did exactly that. He was solid, really solid. And to be honest, I think there's a couple of players I do want to shout out. I know that we're not going into the game too much, but I do want to comment on Lewis. I thought Lewis was excellent. He's heartening your mouth sometimes because he's willing to keep hold of the ball. So sometimes you're a bit like, Jesus, there was one bit in the second half where he kind of lost it, but then won it back and then managed to get rid of it.
This is right, honestly. I watch football and this is what does me head in when you see a player, he picks it up in between, it's like no man's land in between his own goal and the halfway line. There's a player closing him down. You can say where the player's going to go. He's going to start heading towards the goal. And Lewis does this perfectly. He just goes as if he's going in that direction, then just drops his shoulder and goes, bye.
Yeah, goes your way, yeah, he does.
But it's dangerous. It is dangerous. But
it is dangerous.
It gets you back on the front foot.
It does, and he also defensively really sticks to the task as well. Like, he seems to just be like buzzing around a player all the time to try and get the ball off them. And I think I seen someone tweet saying, like he should have been playing 40, 50 games ago. I mean, let's be fair. And that's very true. So I think now he would have won however completely because he will have faith in Richie because he's worked with Richie before. But I think him starting again after the Norwich game, I think tells us that Howe believes in him now, which is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, mate, I fully agree with you. And not just him. Once again, we're going to have to sit here and praise Joe Linton once again. We're going to have to sit here and praise John Joe Shelby once again. What Eddie Howe has done to those two players themselves. Where have these two players been hiding for the last season and a half or 2 seasons? Where have they been?
I don't know. You know what it is? I don't know. I mean, with Shelby, it's a funny one because Shelby's got a lot of experience in this league. So with Joe Linton, sometimes I could say maybe he needed that bit of help, maybe he needed that bit of coaching. But we know Shelby has played for years in this league, but I don't know if it's fitness, I don't know if it's sharpness, I don't know if it's some kind of belief that's been put in him. But he was brilliant today, like honestly was brilliant. But again, as you've mentioned, Joe Linton, he covered every blade of grass again. Every blade of grass. There was a few things he did wrong, there's a few passes he gave away. I'm not really bothered about that. Like every player's going to make a mistake in 90 minutes. That's just football.
Yeah.
But the couple of the things he did that I loved as well is he was probably the only one that was shown on a throw-in. Because the throw-ins were dreadful, by the way. But he was the one that was willing to go and show. He was the one that was trying to get the ball moving quickly again because we were quite slow in possession. And when we didn't have the ball, he was just covering every angle that he possibly could. And what he has got, which I still think is underrated, he's got pretty damn good feet, like for the size of him and the physicality of him. Yeah. He has got great feet. He's got great feet. He was bringing in some players really well. So there's 3 players we've mentioned there that are, I'm going to say a stupid term, but like new signings in a way because they haven't played like this. We haven't even seen Lewis, so he is like one. But the other 2, like Shelby and Joe Linton, definitely haven't been playing the way they've been playing recently.
Yeah, those are the 2 players that shock probably the majority of the fan base the most because it's such a change in form for those 2. I know Joe Linton was performing a little bit better the back end of Bruce's tenure at the club. But once again, since Eddie Howe came in, he's just stepped it up another gear, mate. And I'm not sure if this new position that he's playing in, and like you said, he's covering every blade of grass on that field. And towards the end of the game, yes, he does tire, but he's still grafting, mate. He's still grafting his arse off to get in those positions. And
that's a good point you made, by the way, about the position that he's playing, because he isn't really playing as a forward at all. In fairness, he seems to be playing, I'd say, midfield.
Yeah, midfield.
All
it's
across
like a Vieira role, mate.
All across it, like he's just playing everywhere. There was a moment where there were Bournemouth. Apologise, but Burnley were having a few goal kicks, and Eddie Howe was telling Joe Linton, "I need you to come over here, like the other side." And you could see him like going, "Okay, boss," but he was shot at. But he was coming over, and he won the header. I mean, he was the person that won the header, and I was just like, "God, he's literally doing everything."
you've got Saint, and we know Saint's an absolute marvel. Of course he is, right? And he's going to push on and go forward. The amount of times I saw him pick that ball up and dribble today was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous from Saint. But what you don't get from Saint is that work rate coming back over.
No,
with Joe,
absolutely not.
It's honestly right now it's second to none on that football field.
It's a funny one, because if I said this to my dad today when we were watching the match, I said, when you I think it was after an hour, I says, God, you can't take him off. Like, when I was looking for a sub to maybe freshen it up, like you just can't, you can't take him off. And that is an unbelievable thing for me to say, considering maybe 10 games ago I would have said, well, hook Joe and get Almiron or someone, I don't know. You just can't take him off, because he does bring a lot. He brings a lot at the minute, which is amazing. And credit to Eddie Howe, and credit to Joe Linton. More so credit to Joe Linton, because he is the person that he was getting all the shit off the fans. He was the one that was getting the stick, and he's the one that's clearly been putting the hours in, which is great.
Yeah, like Andy Hamilton says there, everyone has a fresh start, but the way Joe Linton has jumped up, it's really nice to see. And I think majority of the fan base wanted him to do well, always have done. We really have. Obviously, we could go on all night about things that we've already covered with Joe Linton's price tag and things like that. But right now,
they've even created a song now, which is lovely. So even that's been incorporated into a little short.
Yeah, so there's a few mentions about the song there, and it's great. Yeah. It's going to give him, honestly, mate, the confidence boost that he'll get because of his current form. It'll be absolutely remarkable.
Did you see the video he done tonight? The little thing he did for Newcastle,
for the club.
Yeah. I was like, that's great. He wouldn't have done that 10 games ago. You know what I mean?
Nah.
So that's great. Really good.
It's just right. Let's talk about the goal briefly, mate.
Okay.
So, where to even start with it? Because it's just I don't even know where to start with it. It's absolutely mental. It's crazy.
It's a difficult one for me because obviously I haven't seen a replay of it, if I'm being honest. All I remember is the ball is obviously lumped long. The keeper comes out and catches it. Now, in my honest opinion, in real time, I didn't feel that our attacker, no idea who it was, by the way, tried to challenge for the ball. In my opinion, he's just there. If you know what I mean.
I've got a feel. I might be wrong. I got a feeling it was Lascelles.
Okay, right. He doesn't jump for the ball or anything. Just the goalkeeper collects the ball.
His arms are out. Yeah, his arms are out.
And it just hits his head, like when the keeper's coming back down, which then pops out. Now Wilson's
No, so I don't think it is. I think Lascelles comes across, and I think the ball bounces off Scher's head. So Lascelles tries to put the keeper off, and as the keeper's landing, he lands, catches it, and lands, and bounces it off Scher's head. Then it goes out. But I'm sure it was Lascelles challenging.
Right. So when obviously Wilson does unbelievable, by the way, unbelievable, because when he dummies the first player, he's got a couple of people on the line. I felt from
keeps going, doesn't he?
And he lifts the ball, which is that's how he scores the goal, because he drills it but lifts the ball and they can't clear it. It was an absolutely brilliant finish. But I'll be fair, and this is because of VAR, I didn't celebrate it the way that I would have, if that makes sense. I did, but I immediately thought, oh shit, like the ref's already talking to the goalkeeper, and it's probably going to get disallowed. So I didn't celebrate the way I probably would have liked to.
Yeah. So obviously when it was all happening and when they started showing the replays, because it's the first game which I've missed this season, and obviously it's the one where we're going to win it, but couldn't get out of work this week, so I'm sat there watching it at work. And
you can't go again, because if we've won, you're the problem, so just don't go back.
But yeah, I'm sat watching it at work, and when they start showing the replays, I'm thinking this is harsh if they disallow this, because it's the keeper at fault. Scher's not in the way. The keeper just lands on him, and Scher can't move. And I thought, if that gets given, that's just how I look. I honestly thought that. Yeah. But the more you saw it, I thought, they can't physically give it, because the keeper's messed up. Yeah, he's at fault. It's Pope that's at fault, nobody else.
Yeah.
But mate,
I was going to ask you, because obviously you would have seen the replay, and just my first angle was that's not a foul. He hasn't actually done anything to the goalkeeper. It was just maybe unluckiness from the goalkeeper as well. In fairness, I mean, he's landing on his head, right? But
the only thing I thought that could have possibly ruled it out was the initial challenge. And like I said, I think I might be wrong, but I think it was Lascelles that was trying to challenge the goalkeeper and puts his arm across him and gives him a little bit of a push. I thought that's the only thing, and they might say that's the reason why he hasn't been in full control of the ball, blah, 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 blah. But wasn't the case, mate. The keeper, Pope, should have kept a hold of that, mate. 100%. 100%.
That's a fair comment, yeah.
But like you said, for Wilson to pick that ball up, and rather than instinctively just hit and hope, he's thought, I'm going to get myself in a better position here. And he's just kept on going on a diagonal. He saw that opportunity, and he smashes That ball in the back of the net, mate.
It's a great finish. It really, really is. Loads of power, but again, he lifted the ball, which if he had drilled the ball along the floor, I think that Burnley, someone would have blocked it. It's really difficult, isn't it, when you think in that moment, like, in a split second of thought, you've got to think, right, I'll get myself a better angle. I'm going to raise my shot. So it's fantastic. And that's obviously why there's a few in the media. In fairness, I know we get a lot of shit in the media, but there has been a few professionals and like ex-pros say, like, because they've got Callum Wilson, they will score goals. So there is a chance. Do you know what I mean? And it's proven right again where when you need him to stand up and score, he did it against Norwich on the penalty. He scored again the day. Like, he's just so damn important. He's just so important.
Huge, mate. Huge, mate. And this is why I think the January transfer window is such a big one for us, because if he gets injured, then once again, our hopes just take a massive beating, mate. Because, like you said, I think when Wilson's not in that team due to injury, we're going to struggle. We always struggle to score goals and have that clinical instinct. But we need some form of backup. We really, really do, because who we got there at the minute? Because Joe Linton's not a striker. We know that now. He's a defensive midfielder. He's just Gale. Yeah,
that's all we've got. Yeah, and Gale's always injured as well. In fairness, he always seems to have problems, and he hasn't had an actual, even any kind of game time at all. So it of course, if we lost him, it would be a nightmare, to be honest.
Yeah. So just to start wrapping things up, we'll go for another 10 minutes, but if anybody does have any questions, we will answer them, because obviously we'll be doing this again on Monday night with Bestie and Mark, just to go over everything again. You'll get to hear Decker say those magical 4 words again on Monday night. How confident are you, mate, now compared to what you were this time last week?
It's night and day, if I'm being honest with you. Because I think I said last week I thought we were down. I couldn't see we're getting out of it. But that's what a win does, doesn't it? That's what a win can do, And I believe that would have done the same to the players. To be quite honest, when I looked at the league tables, was when I really took a realization of, whoa, like, we're only 3 points off it. I don't think Watford are any mugs, by the way. I think they're not too bad, but I just feel that there's definitely something within the squad, and it's more so the spirit, I think, than quality. I think the spirit's there, which I haven't seen before. They really are fighting for each other, and if they can keep up like that, we might scrape, as you've just mentioned before, scraping the bigger wins, scraping, getting the result against
mate, you need some of the scalps of the big boys right now. Like, that's what you need.
But I'm definitely more confident than I was, mate, for sure.
Yeah, so just go through a couple of questions. Ed Douglas has said, what's a priority in January now? Still centre-back, centre midfielder, or centre forward? Joe Linton shocked me because he's managed to find a position in centre midfield, or he drifts across to the centre midfield.
Yeah.
But I still think you need to massively upgrade that area. It's something that we've been bleating on about for God knows how many seasons now, Decker. But I don't think you can put it in any necessary order. Hands down, you need to improve all 3 of those places without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, do you know a position that it's not because I don't dislike the person that's playing at the moment, but I wouldn't mind an upgrade at right back. Like, if I'm honest, a real good quality right back wouldn't go amiss. There's been massive talk again about Lingard saying he's top priority and all this type of stuff. Again, that could just be paper talk, but I think. I'm really interested in what happens with Willock, because if we get another centre midfielder, it would be Willock I would drop, to be quite honest with you.
100%,
Shelby at the minute,
can't drop.
How at the end of the game came over and he was hugging a few players, but when he got to Shelby, he gave him a proper hug, like literally hugged him to death. And I was like, right, so he's clearly
seeing the player as well, where myself included, we were thinking he's going to struggle in it anyhow when we saw him do that bleep test, and then obviously we saw the interview with the club's YouTube channel as well, where he smirks at Dan King for obviously saying that the fans have been calling him lazy in the past and things like that. But he's proved us all wrong. He really has.
He's turned it around quick as well, to be quite honest with you. Like, it was the first game was against Brentford. He was a different player. I mean, the first game of how I feel like, but centre half, I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, we've still got Feddy, we've got Shea, we've got Lascelles. I mean, we do have some good ones there. But of course, if there's somebody out there that can improve her, you go and get him. But centre midfield, I agree with you. I think centre midfield is where we need someone. desperately.
Yeah, there's a few shouts in there just because obviously you mentioned Trippier's been linked quite a bit. The problem that we have now is our current position. It always has been since the start of the season. What sort of players are you going to get? Is Trippier going to look at Newcastle thinking, let's head over there? It's going to be money at the end of the day, really, and it's going to be about relegation clauses in contracts.
I know
as well.
Yeah. I just can't see. I mean, I'd love him. I absolutely love him. Like, he would be such an upgrade in that position. But would he leave Atletico Madrid to come to a relegation battle? I'm not so sure. I don't know.
Yeah, just to follow up on the players coming in January, Graham Dougal has said, anyone that you think will leave in January? I think
you go. No, you go.
You go.
I think Dwight Gale could actually. Okay. I actually think Dwight Gale could.
Yeah. Mine was going to be Fetty.
Okay.
I think he might try and push for a move. And if the club will allow him to go, if he's not playing games, I think they'll probably let it happen. If you bring another centre back in, I think Fetty will be gone.
Because that would be for. I would hate to say that, like I would hate to say that, but I suppose if you bring another centre half in, I mean, Howe spoke so well about him, didn't he? But then again, he's very clever at that. He speaks well about everybody. You know, he even spoke well about Dwight Gale when he got asked about him.
Yeah.
But because I personally can see we're getting a centre forward in, and I think Gale would go. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, mate, there's areas across everything, mate. Like across every part of that field that needs huge improvements. Like I know we spoke about that team photo that Fabian Shea put on, but come the summer, there's not going to be many of those players left in there unless we get relegated. You'll probably see most of them in there. But
yeah,
if we survive, that team photo will look a hell of a lot different next season. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Oh no, I to be honest with you, mate, I think I think if we stay up, I agree, it'd look a hell of a lot different. And I think it's a funny one though, isn't it? Because I remember I didn't joke, actually. I meant it. I said we need to get rid of 21 players. When the takeover happened, to become a decent side, we need to get rid of all of them. To be quite honest with you, I only keep a handful, but it is hard when you've got a bit of an attachment to these players. You know, there is certain players that I've got a lot of time for. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want to sort of lose them, but in order for us to progress as a team and progress as a club, we have to.
Yeah, there's a shout there for Hendrick by Tobias. You're gonna knock. I always forget about Hendrick. I really do. Then all of a sudden you see him on the bench and you think, oh,
probably Howe does, mate. Probably Eddie Howe does. What the hell is that?
Who's that kid with the long hair?
Yeah. If you're upgrading, I mean, he's on a canny bit of whack money wise and all. But if you do get another centre midfielder, of course he could be one to go.
There's another couple of shouts here from KNA. Woodman, Kraft, Hendricks leaving. Woodman, he's going to try and push for another loan move, you would have thought, and rightly so. He started the season in goal for Newcastle, so
Lee Ryder asked that question in his press conference and said, right, you've got 4 goalkeepers, do you think that'll change? And he was like, he explained the reason why there is 4 at the minute, but he did kind of suggest that someone will be leaving, like, so I would imagine it'd be Woodman. Makes sense.
We've had a few shouts for Longstaff as well, mate.
Sean.
Probably both.
Well, I know obviously Sean's in his last year of his contract. It's 6 months. It's up now and he's done. So it's an interesting one. What's going to happen because he'll leave on a free at the end of the season. So this is his chance. He has to be making the right noises to get offered a new contract. Because if not,
once again though, mate, you're not going to be shocked if he leaves, and you can't blame the club for not keeping Sean Longstaff on because the opportunities that he has had. I know he hasn't had a solid run in the team, but he's failed to impress.
Yeah, he has. Sadly, he has, because I've got a lot of time for him. But yes, I agree. It makes you feel like we should have cashed in with Man United.
But like we said, mate, every player gets a clean slate. They really have done.
That's true.
We've just saw what Joe Linton's done. We've saw what Shelby's done. We saw what Lewis has done. Lewis looked like the worst football player in the world at one point under Steve Bruce. But the last couple of games, he's looked fantastic. There's a few mentions for Matty Longstaff there. Can't even get a game at Aberdeen, I think he's at. Can't even get on the field, mate. To me, what's the point of loan? If your players are going to be playing football, you should be bringing them back.
Stephen Glass, obviously, he's the manager up there. And Stephen Glass got interviewed about him, and they mentioned Matty Longstaff in general. And he says, well, I'm sure that Matty would have loved more game time. We would also love his performances to be better. He was proper cutthroat, like. So,
not his player, really, mate, so he can say whatever he wants. If he pisses him off, he pisses him off.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and I mean, how much does Matty want to be at Aberdeen? I'm not so sure, to be honest. So, but
that's true, mate.
I just feel that Shola's the loan manager here, right? And he needs to start getting things right, otherwise he'll be shipped out damn quick. But anyway, but yes, I mean, I think both Longstaff. But let's be fair, right? Let's be really honest here, right? If you're wanting to progress as a football club, Matty Longstaff and Sean Longstaff are not the players. They're not the players that are there to going to take you forward. They're not.
It's great to have local lads in the team, but mate, they can only be in the team if they're good enough at the end of the day.
And they're not. They're not. And I hate to say that because I want them to do well. It's not, I don't want any one of them to do poorly. But I always just have to think of okay, to move on, you have to move on from them players.
Yeah. Right, so we'll end it on this one, mate. So Graham Dougal has said, thoughts on Wilson's comment this week about admitting they weren't fit enough at the start of the season. It didn't take Wilson to tell us and show us that they weren't fit enough. Everybody could see that those players weren't fit enough. The change that we've seen in just, a month? It's just a month, isn't it? Just a month now. It's
3 weeks.
It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
It's unbelievable. And I think there's more and more. I mean, Fraser's interview as well was similar, where he almost hung Steve Bruce and the coaching staff, but then stopped himself and said, "Well, I don't want to disrespect the previous staff," which is fair enough. Obviously, Wilson's comments are exactly the same, and I think what I'm also think of when I hear things like that, all these ex-pundits and all these experts in the media that have defended Bruce over the when we were getting shit as fans for not being happy with everything. I wonder what them think reading these comments, because it's all the players are now seeing that training was shit, we weren't fit enough. Like, they're seeing exactly what we already knew. And it frustrates me that, I don't know, it really does.
It doesn't matter what they think, mate. They won't be honest about it, because if they're honest about it, they're not going to get the interaction which they get on social media and on the talking shows. But mate, I think we'll call it a night. That's half an hour just gone.
Yeah, 31, spot on, right?
Yeah. We could be here for a long time if we really wanted to, but I don't want to take up too much of the content for Monday night, if I'm being honest, mate.
No.
But yeah, thanks to everybody that has been watching tonight. There's over 300 of you watching at the moment, so thank you very much, and thank you if you are listening back to the audio. As always, I do have to mention this. If you do want to become a member of the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking the join button on the homepage. You do get access to early access videos, such as the My United videos. There's one there at the moment with Adam Beckett, who is over from America at the minute. What a game to travel over for, mate. Absolutely fantastic to see that 3 points. First 3 points of the season, hopefully of many. Daryl's got his My United coming up, and there's a little clip from that My United which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing. I don't know how I'm going to work that into the My United, but I'll figure out how to do it. But yeah,
somehow, like, yeah,
I'll figure it out, mate. And with the with the becoming a member as well, you do get access to the Gallowgateshots Telegram group as well. It's very similar to a WhatsApp group. Only members get access and the code to get into that one. And you can have a chat with the likes of myself, Degger, Morg, Bestie, everybody's in there. Roger's put about 20 voice notes in there today, being at the match. I think he put one in about half an hour ago, and he's absolutely smashed. Every other word is a swear word, mate. And Roger doesn't normally swear like that.
No, he doesn't, does he? No, he doesn't. No.
Every other word is a swear word, mate. But he's out. He's enjoying himself. So fair play to him. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to like the video. If you don't want to become a member, you just sign up, subscribe to the channel. That'll mean as much to us as well. And Degger, I shall see you on Monday night. Yes. But for those that didn't catch the start of the video, mate, say them words again.
We won you now. Get in.
See you later.